He disappeared for days. No press conference, no public appearance, no live video, just silence from the most vocal wartime leader in the world. And within hours of that silence, the internet exploded. Viral posts, fake screenshots, a press conference video that millions of people watched frame by frame, looking for proof of deception. And then the claim that went around the world at the speed of a missile strike: Netanyahu is dead, killed in an Iranian strike, replaced by an AI deepfake. His official accounts hacked, his body hidden, 6 fingers on his right hand, proof that the video was generated by artificial intelligence. 48 hours of global chaos. Markets moved, governments issued statements, fact-checkers worked through the night. And then Netanyahu appeared live, at a podium, 5 fingers, very much alive. But here is the thing. The lie already won, and understanding how and why it won is the most important media story of this entire war. Welcome, subscribe right now, because what we are about to dissect is not just a fact check, it is an autopsy of the most sophisticated information warfare operation deployed in this conflict so far. And what it reveals about the new battlefield of the 21st century is more alarming than any missile strike. Let's go. Let's start with the timeline, because the timing of this campaign was not accidental, it was surgical. Netanyahu went quiet in the first days of the war. This was not unusual. During active military operations, Israeli leaders routinely limit public appearances for security reasons. Tel Aviv was under missile fire. Sirens were sounding across the country. The Kiryat, Israel's military headquarters in Tel Aviv, was a potential target. Keeping the prime minister off live television was a rational security decision. But in an information vacuum, rational decisions become vulnerabilities, and Iran's psychological operations unit understood that perfectly. The first wave hit within 48 hours of the war beginning. A fake screenshot of Netanyahu's official social media account appeared online, announcing his death. It looked authentic. It had the verified account badge. It had the right profile photo. It had the timestamp. It circulated on X, on Telegram, on WhatsApp groups in 12 languages simultaneously. Before a single fact-checker had time to respond, it had been seen by millions of people across the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and the Americas. The screenshot was completely fabricated. No such post ever existed. The AI chatbot Grok confirmed it instantly. Snopes confirmed it. The Jerusalem Post confirmed it. But here is the brutal mathematics of modern disinformation. In the time it took those fact checks to publish, the fake screenshot had already been shared more than the corrections ever would be. The lie traveled. The truth jogged behind it. And then came the 6 fingers. On March 12th, Netanyahu held his first full press conference since the war began, virtual from an undisclosed location. Israel was not willing to reveal his position while Iranian missiles were still flying. And in one single frame of that press conference, one frozen moment during a hand gesture, a shadow from a camera angle, and the fold of his palm created an optical illusion. For a fraction of a second in that one frame, it looked like Netanyahu might have 6 fingers. Within minutes, that frame was everywhere. AI experts rushed to pronounce the video fake. Deepfake detectors were applied. Screenshots circulated with red circles around the supposed 6th finger. Posts racked up millions of views before anyone stopped to watch the actual full video, in which Netanyahu moves his hands continuously throughout and has 5 fingers on both, exactly as a human being does, exactly as he always has. The 6-finger claim was demolished within hours by every credible digital forensics team that examined it. PolitiFact was explicit. Snopes was explicit. Digital analysts from multiple independent organizations confirmed the same conclusion. Camera angle, hand positioning, and lighting created an optical illusion, not artificial intelligence, physics. But the damage was already done, because the 6-finger story was never really about Netanyahu's fingers. It was about one question, the question Iran needed millions of people to be asking. Is what we are seeing real? Can we trust what the Israeli government shows us? How do we know the war's most important figure is actually alive and leading this operation? Plant that seed of doubt, and you do not need the lie to survive the fact check. The doubt outlives the debunking. People who never see the correction still carry the question, and in a war where psychological pressure is a core strategic tool, that question, lingering, unresolved, circulating in the back of people's minds, is a weapon. Here's what Iran's information warfare operation achieved with this campaign. Even after every credible fact-checker confirmed Netanyahu was alive, a significant portion of the global audience, particularly in countries predisposed to skepticism about Israel and the United States, continued to share the death rumors as if they were plausible. Pro-Iranian accounts on Telegram with millions of subscribers were still posting the six-finger video days after it was debunked, presenting it as suppressed truth being hidden by Western media. And every repost, every share, every "I'm not saying it's true, but" kept the narrative alive in the information ecosystem long after its factual basis had been destroyed. This is the new architecture of war, not just bombs and missiles and drones, pixels and screenshots and viral shares, a frame from a press conference as a psychological weapon, a fake tweet as a strategic strike against credibility. The goal was never to make the world permanently believe Netanyahu was dead. The goal was to make the world spend 48 hours uncertain, arguing, fact-checking, sharing, instead of focusing on the actual news of the day, which included Iranian missile strikes, American casualties, and oil prices climbing toward $100. In information warfare terms, that's a successful operation, mission accomplished, not because the lie was believed, because it was deployed. And here's the deeper lesson. The Netanyahu death rumor did not come from nowhere. It came from a carefully constructed ecosystem that Iran's information warfare apparatus has been building for years. Networks of accounts, translation teams fluent in 20 languages, deep fake production capabilities, timing algorithms designed to maximize spread during the hours when fact-checkers in Western time zones are asleep, seeding strategies that use legitimate fragments of real information, Netanyahu's absence from public view, the genuine difficulty of authenticating wartime video, the real concerns about AI-generated media, and build fabrications around those real foundations, so the lie looks like it grew naturally from truth. It's a playbook that did not begin with this war, but this war has given it its largest stage and its most consequential deployment, because the target is not just Netanyahu's credibility, the target is the credibility of the entire Western information architecture. Every successful deployment of this playbook, even when debunked, erodes the basic shared reality that democratic societies need to function. When millions of people genuinely cannot tell whether their leaders are alive or whether the videos they see are real, the foundation of informed public opinion cracks. And cracked public opinion in a democracy is a weapon more powerful than any missile. The Jerusalem Post called it a familiar pattern, real fragments of public information stitched together into a dramatic narrative, then circulated as if they point to a hidden event. That description is exactly right, and it will happen again, in this war and in every war that follows, because it works. Netanyahu held his press conference. He had 5 fingers. He said clearly that he cannot guarantee the Iranian people will bring down their regime. He threatened Iran's new supreme leader directly. He confirmed Israeli strikes had killed Iranian nuclear scientists. He was alive, on camera, governing. And somewhere in Tehran's information warfare command, someone watched that press conference and noted what worked, what spread, what generated doubt, and what to do differently next time. The myth of Netanyahu's death lasted 48 hours. The lesson of how it was built and why it spread will last much longer. Because in the war of 2026, the most dangerous battlefield is not the Strait of Hormuz. It's the screen in your pocket. And the weapon that wins on that battlefield is not truth or lies. It's doubt. Manufactured, distributed, persistent doubt. Arriving faster than any fact check, traveling further than any correction, and leaving behind exactly the one thing Iran needs most right now, a world that is no longer certain of what it is seeing. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How do you protect yourself from information warfare in a conflict like this? Subscribe to this channel right now. Share this video with someone who needs to understand the new battlefield, and we'll see you in the next one.